for joining us for the news at noon. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. Our top story here at noon comes from Vancouver, where police identified the suspect who they say fired a shotgun at a mom and her two kids after a road rage incident this past weekend. Investigators say it started on I-5 near the 78th Street exit on Sunday evening. Both drivers kept driving to their homes, and it turns out they actually lived just a block away from each other. When the mom tried to take down the other driver's license plate number, police say Eric Odegaard fired a shotgun. The slug hit an unoccupied car seat in the back and no one was hurt. Odegaard faces 3 counts of assault with a firearm. Coming up next week in Vancouver, residents there will have a chance to meet one of the finalists in the city's search for its next police chief. Next Wednesday, interim police chief Troy Price will answer questions from audience members during a moderated discussion. Price is looking to become the permanent successor to former Chief Jeff Morey, who retired earlier this month after about 2 years on the job. Next Wednesday night's event will be held at the Evergreen Public Schools Administrative Service Center starting at 6:30 p.m. You can go to the City of Vancouver's website to RSVP.
4 Vancouver neighborhoods are getting funds for traffic safety. It's part of the city's neighborhood traffic calming program. The funding will go towards the Emerald Landing, Lincoln, Northwest, and Edgewood Park neighborhoods. Those changes are expected to be implemented next summer or fall. A KGW softball team is under scrutiny after parents and spectators say players on the team were yelling racist chants towards one of their opponents.
As KGW's Daisy Caballero explains, she was the only black player on the opposing team, and the chants only happened when she was pitching.
Parents and spectators at the U14 softball game described the repeated chants you just heard as monkey and barking noises made towards the only black player on the Sherwood E-Force team.
There were many times during the game that the cheering was absolutely inappropriate.
The chants came from the Canby Rebels dugout over the weekend at Cook Park. The president telling KGW in a statement part, quote, discussions will be had with players and coaches to address this issue, adding Oregon Rebels will not tolerate racist, threatening, or derogatory comments.
But I do feel that the coaches on the other team are very well aware of what their players were doing, and they owe this family a personal apology.
Jamie Hoglin's daughter also plays on the E-Force team and pointed out those chants were not made when her daughter was playing the same position.
After the game was over, the umpire made us aware that she was aware of what the chanting was.
The father of that young girl didn't want to go on camera, but shared in part, quote, I know the girls didn't mean any harm, but it's essential for coaches, parents, and players to challenge these behaviors, adding that it's not okay.
I would want to know from the kids, this is a learned behavior. Did you know what you were doing? Did you know what that barking and monkey sounds was? This behavior cannot be tolerated in sports, should not be tolerated for any youth activity, period.
Daisy Caballero, KGW News.
In other headlines this afternoon, the murder trial of Robert Atrops of Newburgh is on hold after opening statements in the trial were postponed earlier today. The court didn't give an official reason for the postponement, only saying the opening statements would be rescheduled. Atrops is accused of killing his estranged wife, Deborah, more than 30 years ago. But it wasn't until last year that he was arrested after investigators took another look at his case. This is KGW archive footage from 1988. That's the year Deborah was found dead in the trunk of her Honda Accord near Beaverton. Investigators say she was strangled to death. She was reported missing after Robert called Tigard police saying he couldn't find her and that she didn't arrive to pick up their daughter. Robert Atrops has pleaded not guilty.
Police in Clark County are trying to find the people who vandalized several Halloween displays, slashing inflatables and destroying decorations. So take a look at the surveillance video from the Orchards area showing someone getting out of an SUV, then running back. Another camera on a different home captures a couple of people wearing hoodies, knocking over a giant skeleton and trampling through a yard. 4 homeowners sustained some damage, and one neighbor says she's at about $1,800.
They've made a TikTok video, said they were coming back. So why am I going to set myself up again?
We do a big Christmas display as well. So is that going to be something we need to always be worrying about. Like, are they going to come back? Is someone else going to come back?
Police say that they're looking into possible connection to a dark blue SUV with front end damage.
All right, Rod Hill, Halloween is a week from this Thursday. So what are we
Yes.
talking about, 9 days at this point?
Yes.
We do have a weekend to get through before we
Yes.
go there. So what are you looking at weather-wise
The
today?
weekend looks really wet. I mean, that's my overwhelming headline. If you have plans this weekend, occasional rain on Saturday. The rain totals don't look overly impressive, but we could have drenching rains on Sunday, at least into Monday morning. So more on all that coming up. We are completely dry out there today, so the rains of the last couple of days, that rain chance is over. This is the visible satellite picture. So where you see just black, there's no map underneath it. The black is clear skies, basically. And you see the white kind of fetching. This is mid to high level cloud streaming overhead. And if you look right in here, where you see the kind of darker white color, that's the low cloud and fog that is just now, minutes ago, showing signs of starting to break around downtown Portland. You get out of the city and oh my goodness, Cannon Beach Live, what a beautiful noon hour there, 51 degrees the temperature. You go out into the gorge, another oh my goodness, what a beautiful noon hour. That's the back patio at Cathedral Ridge Winery and Hood River. That's looking at Mount Adams, so just perfectly clear visibility. There's a little bit of a breakdown in Oregon City at the end of the Oregon Trail Interpretive Center, and we're starting to see, although you don't see it here, some breaks around downtown Portland. We just climbed out of the 40s. It's 51 degrees out there right now. So with increasing sun, we will have it to have a chance to hit 60 today. But again, there's no rain. The winds are light. So really, that's what we're watching. How soon we get the sun and how soon we start to warm up. That's your afternoon for now.
All right, thanks, Rod. Another big local headline here this afternoon comes from Sherry's. Sherry's shut down all of its remaining Oregon locations this past weekend. As we first reported back in August, the Beaverton-based restaurant chain has been dealing with eviction notices, unpaid bills, and back taxes.
And as investigative reporter Kyle Boshi found, things got so bad that employees say that they had to go buy food supplies at the grocery store.
It's the end of an era, a Northwest institution. Sherry's Restaurants, known for award-winning pies and late-night meals, abruptly closed all Oregon locations over the weekend, with no warning for employees or longtime customers.
It was a great place to stop and get a good warm meal and some pie.
As KGW first reported in August, this beloved chain of family-style restaurants faced serious financial problems, including eviction notices, unpaid bills, and back taxes. Nearly a dozen Sherry's restaurants in Oregon, Idaho, and Washington have quietly closed over the past 6 months.
We've been in hospice for months, and it was just dragged out to the very end.
Deb Molina managed the Sherry's on Northeast Airport Way in Portland.
I mean, we knew something was coming.
Molina says it became clear bills weren't being paid. Trash piled up out back when garbage service stopped. Then, in the past month, food supplies stopped being delivered on a regular basis.
How do you open a restaurant when you have no eggs, no hash browns, no bacon, no ham?
Molina says she and other employees, desperate for basic ingredients, went to the grocery store so Sherry's could stay open.
We did what we had to do.
Sherry's, which opened in 1978, had more than 60 locations across several states. Like many restaurants, Sherry's struggled to recover after the pandemic. Kyle Aboshi, KGW News.